All right, let's dive into something that, let's be honest, affects literally every single one of us. Trust. And not just any trust. We're talking about who you trust with your money. You know, from that big old bank on the corner to the super slick app on your phone, we're going to break down this whole new world of finance and figure out who we really rely on today.
So let me just ask you, straight up, who do you trust with your money? Seriously, take a second. Is it that big institution that's been around forever? One of those new digital-only banks? Or you may be all in on a crypto platform? Whatever your answer is, it probably says a whole lot about how you see the world of money and tech.
Because really, when you strip everything else away, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. Trust is the invisible glue holding the entire financial system together. Without it, the whole thing just falls apart. It's what lets us sleep at night knowing our savings are safe or feel confident enough to invest in our future.
Okay, so let's start with the original players, the old guard, traditional banks. I mean, these are the institutions we all know. They're built on this massive foundation of rules, regulations, and government oversight.
Here's the crazy thing about banks. It's this huge paradox. On the one hand, their whole promise is security, right? They've got licenses, they've got requirements, all to protect you. But on the other hand, they can be surprisingly fragile. That trust, which feels so solid, can literally disappear in a flash when confidence breaks.
And look, this isn't just some theory. We've all seen this movie before. The 2008 financial crisis was a massive global wake-up call. And even just recently, we saw major banks fail. It's a stark reminder that if a bank gets caught making risky moves or runs out of ready cash, public trust can just shatter. And that's when you get those devastating bank runs.
So, you have that fragility in the old system, and right into that gap steps a whole new crew. Enter the challengers. We're talking about all those fintech apps and neobanks built from the ground up for people who live on their phones.
And their appeal is pretty obvious, right? It's a super smooth digital-first experience. I mean, these are banks that live entirely in your pocket. Because there are no stuffy old buildings, their costs are lower, and that usually means lower fees for you. It's really no wonder they've taken off with millennials and Gen Z.
But, and this is a big but, there's a trade-off. These neobanks have absolutely crushed it when it comes to convenience and user experience. They swapped out brick and mortar for a killer app. The thing is, though, they're still the new kids on the block. They haven't really been tested by decades of economic ups and downs. So they're still working to earn that deep, long-term trust.
And that brings us to our third player, the wild card, the new frontier, crypto. Now, this whole thing started with this massive radical dream of a totally different kind of finance. But as it's gotten bigger, well, reality has started to set in.
You see, the whole original point of crypto was decentralization. The idea was that you wouldn't need to trust a bank or any middleman. You just had to trust the technology itself, the blockchain. It was supposed to be this revolutionary shift, putting all the power and control back into the hands of the individual.
But here's the ironic twist. As the crypto world grew up, many of the biggest platforms started to look a lot like banks. They hold your funds, they make decisions, they're a central point of failure. And that brings us full circle. All of a sudden, those old school words like trust, custody, and regulation are back on the table, and they matter more than ever.
So, let's just lay it all out side by side. You've got your traditional banks. They're heavily regulated, which gives them that feeling of security. But man, they can be slow and, as we've seen, fragile. Then there's Fintech. Incredibly convenient, amazing user experience, but their long-term stability is still a question mark. And finally, crypto. It's the engine of innovation for sure, but the rules are still being written, which creates a lot of uncertainty.
So, where does that leave us? What's the right answer? Well, maybe we've been asking the wrong question. It turns out that deciding who to trust isn't really about choosing between old and new, or an app versus a building. It's about understanding what it actually takes to earn trust in the first place.
And the real key, the secret sauce, is this idea of earned trust. This isn't something a company gets just for being old, and you can't just code it into an app. It's an active thing. It's about a company consistently proving, through its actions, day in and day out, that it genuinely has your back.
So here's something you can actually use, no matter where you're thinking of putting your money. Think of it as your own personal 3-point trust checklist. Number 1, are they transparent? Can you actually see what they're doing? 2, are they compliant? Are they trying to follow the rules and work with regulators? And 3, the big one, are they responsible? What are they actually doing to keep your money safe?
And that's really the bottom line.
The smartest move isn't just picking the oldest brand or the shiniest new technology. It's about finding the companies that can confidently check all three of those boxes. Look for the ones who are working to earn your trust with what they do, not just with what they say.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The next time you open your banking app or make an investment or buy some crypto, ask yourself this: is your trust really in the technology, or is it in the people who built it, who run it, and who are responsible for it? The answer to that question, well, it might just change how you see your money forever. Thanks for tuning in.